Hi guys, 24 hours have passed, and unlike last Sunday afternoon straight evening where we were leaving the Vitality Stadium actually optimistic after a 3-1 defeat, this week all of us are feeling pretty crap about things. Obviously there are VAR incidents, check that video for my opinion on that, and your opinion too, sucks. But I won't go on too much about VAR in this because we deserve to lose based on our inability to be anything half decent. Yesterday was a poor performance, an absolute debacle at King Power, and I asked for your 5-word match report after it, and afterwards I'll give you my view as well, and it's not pretty. Here we go, these are some of your thoughts on the screen now. Mr. Tiggs, forever changing defence damages hopes. Gary, long drive for very little. Greg, that's not 5 words mate, but you can see his sentiment there. Lewis Bailey, 34 games until we're relegated. No, I'm not sure about saying that kind of stuff now. Nor does Gary Chapman. Love it. Complete not a shit today. Patrick Devitt, Paul Fletcher. Vardy wins it for Foxes. Oh, such a clever pun, Paul. No, actually it was quite good. Jack Russell, conceded goals at bad times. Colin, no fight at all, pathetic. Let's see what else we got. Will Trigger Travers, can't wait to see Danjuma. Nathan Nichols, too many easy goals conceded. Leicester fan invading our timeline. It's okay mate, I'll let you off. That was some sexy stuff. Jew Burks, what's the point in VAR? Not the first to say that, Jew. There were a couple of other fans that said exactly the same in their 5-word match report. Paul, I'm already getting concerned. Yeah, me too Paul. James, when will AFCB turn up? Yawning chasm behind the forward, said Cockbeard. Murky, King and Fraser disappear again. 5-word match report, VAR is bent, from Alan. Okay. Gavin Peacock's gilet, Robbie, still cannot defend for Toffee. Like that, although, as Mr. O said, might be more apt to say that one after the next one when we play Everton. Love it. Christopher Nash, going to be a long season. Owen Cherry, massive crock of shit. Danny Beale, defensive and VAR errors disappointing. Clark Griswold, VAR can go somewhere far. AFCB Rob, Vardy and VAR vanquish visitors. He did this on purpose. What a load of old shit from Katie, who is our defensive coach, said Simon. Matthew Adams, what's the point in VAR again? Jordan, basic defended, needed. Hoof it. Susan, need to learn to defend. Les, Leicester have only one ball. I thought that was Hitler. Dan Scholes, what's the point in VAR? And there were a couple of others as well. I think everyone is complaining about how poor we are. Yes, there is the element of VAR, of course. However, you've got to say that we were just absolutely dreadful. And the first goal that we conceded, I mean, well, the team was pretty much as expected, really. Although, let's go there first, I suppose. And we had Chris Mepham that came in. So what we thought was it was going to be 5-3-2. So you've got Mepham, Ake, and Cook, and then the wing backs and Billing and Lerma in the middle, King and Wilson up front. Obviously, Ramsdale keeping his place. Didn't do that. Central defensive pairing of Cook and Mepham, which has been untried as a 4-4-2 this season. Oh yeah, why not? Let's do that, Eddie. Nathan Ake left back, yeah, because that always goes well. I know he was a left back for Chelsea, but he's been converted very nicely to a centre back, and then we're just moving him to the left. It was 4-4-2, and it did not work whatsoever. So we had Fraser on the left, Wilson on the right, and then obviously the middle two, the top two. And we had this chance where Fraser tried to bend the ball in, and then the keeper saved it, but then it was Johnny Evans, I think, with just a long punt forward who played it over the top, and Chris Mepham was so flat-footed. And then Vardy went on, and Ramsdale, I'm not too sure where he was, and then he lobbed him. Great goal by Vardy. I don't particularly understand, because, you know, for Chris Mepham, why not give Jamie Vardy a yard? Obviously, I understand that players are trained to play the offside, but if you're right alongside him, when there's a ball over the top like that, fairly simple, very un-Leicester-like, really, you're always going to get done for pace by Vardy. The key, in my opinion, my dad always taught me this as a young defender, possibly why I ended up playing as a striker in my later career. Yeah. The key is to give yourself a few split seconds to read the situation, so you can either step in with a challenge or a header if you can, but just not give him enough room to pick up the ball and kind of run at you. But, if he does, the extra yard that you've got on him will at least give you a chance of winning the duel. And Vardy, though, he was right alongside Mepham. Mepham, I don't know if he was trying to play the offside, but simple ball over the top, and there was only ever going to be really one outcome, and it was very naive defending, I thought, from Chris Mepham. Really poor. We had a few extra chances. What else have I got here? Billing had an effort or two, one of which was way over, the other of which was wide. We still did look relatively threatening, because the game was had a very nice ebb and flow actually in its early stages, almost too much, almost like a basketball game. You attack us, we attack you. You attack us, we attack you. But it looked as though Bournemouth could sort of carve them open. But equally, it looked like they were dangerous as well. So they went 1-0 up. But thankfully, equalised at such a good time. So Fraser, picking up the ball in the middle of the pitch, and Callum was signalling for that run, running across the defence, played at exactly the right time. Fraser and Wilson, again, if you got them in your fantasy Premier League team, you've done well on points again. The combination seemed to be kickstarting again. Nice little finish from Callum Wilson, just slightly chipped, just going over Kasper Schmeichel's leg and just in off the post. I thought it was a really good finish, because had he just played it along the ground, the keeper would have saved it. So slight chip finish, and momentum carried it in. I was unsure whether it was going to go in at first, but a really nice goal. And we carried on with teams just ripping each other apart, really. What else have we got? We had a few other shots. Wilson feeding King, who swept the ball wide. On 27 minutes, Aaron Ramsdale, lucky escape, mate, with that long ball over the top, and then he tried to clear it, and then it hit Vardy, and thankfully pounced on it and managed to get it in his arms. But that could have been gifting Jamie Vardy with another goal. I don't know what it is. We are a charity case at some times. I know Bournemouth have got their allocated charities each year, but they should maybe have their own charity, because it's appalling the way that we give goals away to the opposition. And I know that when your team loses, you're always going to look at the defence, but I swear that Bournemouth have a worse we from the teams that stayed in the Premier League, we had the worst defence last season, and it's scary that we're still thinking Nathan Ake's in the £80 million bracket, because he's a decent player, but it's the players that are playing alongside him perhaps not so great. We gave the ball away a number of times during the game, which led to a number of counter-attacks on both sides. In fact, and there was a scrappy spell where Billing and Lerma got booked, and from that point forward, it was just like we were never gonna really pose a threat again with those two out, those two workhorses in the middle of the park. They were scared to go in for challenges, and we just looked quite weak in midfield after that, because they seemed to play the ball through. I mean, those two emerged with more credit than anyone, as ever. But after that, it was like a knife through butter at times. And then the goal that Leicester scored for 2-1, that again was a long ball over the top. Bizarre, Leicester City doing all this, and Vardy beat Cook with a lucky ricochet, and then pulled it back. No one tracked Tielemans. He came in relatively late. Smith was left standing. 2-1, and it was all a bit moribund, as Alan Partridge would say. At that point, I just couldn't see a way of getting back into it. Early stages, I thought, this is a cat and mouse game, and we've got the potential to score goals here. But after that, you just couldn't see anything happening. Harry Wilson was pretty ineffective, I've got to say, on the right hand side. But what have we got? What choice have we got? Fraser's got his name on the team sheet each and every time, and he's playing awful. But what competition has he got? He's got Jordan Ibe. Who else? No one else. Everyone else is injured. It's really depressing, really. Our attack. I mean, just imagine if we didn't have Harry Wilson. He's not been great aside from his set pieces. Just imagine if we didn't have him. It would be Jordan Ibe starting, I suppose, or maybe we'd work something out whereby Josh King would start on the right and Solanke and Wilson would go up front. That's what I'd probably do for the next game, to be fair. Harry Wilson's not been great. Oh, so what else? Adam Smith had a chance in the second half where there's a nice flowing attack. Callum Wilson played him in and he tried to pull it back onto his left foot, but Johnny Evans forced a corner. That was a great chance for Bournemouth then. He came off injured. Adam Smith. Our injury crisis is absolutely depressing. Brooks, Lewis Cook, Gosling, Stanislas, Danjuma, Francis, Daniels, Kelly, and now Smith. There's no competition for places left. It's absolutely shocking. And what was even more shocking was the way we conceded our third goal, because Ake tried to clear it, didn't. Chris Mepham was trying to dribble it out of defence like he's some kind of Rivaldo character. Ended up losing the ball, and then Vardy was, as a result, on his own in the middle, stabbed it home, 3-1. And then Bournemouth end up losing in a real poor performance, where Leicester saw out the game management, brilliant, and we didn't look as though we were going to get back into it at 3-1. Even the 7 minutes of injury time, there was a half-hearted hey! From the Bournemouth fans. There was never that feeling of a fight back. Really, really depressing. Unhappy with how it is, and you know what, we've been in these situations before, so I'm not going to worry overly about how things are going to be. Some people are mentioning the R word already. Fuck off, shut up. It's not going to, stop. You can't say things that early. What is quite scary though are the way teams around us who we thought that would be in and around the relegation zone are picking up really good points. Sheffield United yesterday, Crystal Palace won again as well, and Watford have got some points on the board now, or a point, whatever, but that's the scary thing. Saints got a result against Man United, and they're looking all right. We really need these players to come back from injury ASAP and provide some more competition for places, because Billing and Lerma have got it sorted. Callum Wilson, Josh King have probably got it sorted. Ryan Fraser, Harry Wilson, and then you're looking at the back. You're looking at the defenders and thinking, well, really, there's not an awful lot of competition there. Jack Simpson could come in. Can't really say that Ramsdale particularly had a bad game yesterday. Yes, he did have a couple of moments. His positioning for the first was pretty awful, but he shouldn't have been put in that position by Mepham, really. Yeah, he did have that clearance that fell to Vardy, as I said, but I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to get my head around it, and these videos I do a day later are supposed to sort of bring in all my thoughts, and but I'm still very angry about the performance, and everyone that travelled, I'm sure you're equally angry too. Feeling very depressed, and a lovely international break to think about it and mull it over. Let me know your thoughts. What should Eddie do for next time? Assuming there's no players back. I'm sure there will be a couple, maybe Lewis Cook, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, whether he'll be sort of ready for the first team or not, I don't quite know. But Danjuma, I don't know really when anyone's coming back. But let me know what you think in the comments. What Eddie should do next time. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you want more AFC Bournemouth content like this, we'll be after outside the games doing fan chats, etc. Do subscribe as well, because it all helps. Shows that we've got a bit of support out there to carry on doing this kind of thing. Really appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next video, whenever that will be. And until then, up the cherries in all departments. See you later.